The week of June 16th is a very important one for Armenian Americans in Los Angeles, throughout California, and around the country. This week, on Wednesday, we're going to have a hearing of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. That's the same committee that last October passed the Armenian Genocide Resolution. This time, under a new chairman, following the death of the former leader of the committee, Tom Lantos. The new chairman is now Howard Berman. Howard Berman, a legislator from the Pasadena area, a good friend of the Armenian community, has organized a hearing to give members of this committee a chance to ask the tough questions of the Bush administration about their policy toward Armenia, their policy toward Azerbaijan, their policy toward Turkey. And there are a lot of good questions out there, a lot of unanswered questions out there about why this administration fought so hard against the genocide resolution, why they have proposed a genocide denier in the past, Dick Hoagland, to represent the United States in Armenia. Policies regarding the arming of Azerbaijan when Azerbaijan is threatening to use its weaponry against Nagorno-Karabakh. There are a lot of questions, and Howard Berman, a good friend of the Armenian community, has organized a committee hearing so that members of his panel can ask the tough questions of the administration. At this hearing, the administration is going to be represented by Daniel Freed. Daniel Freed is a very senior official in the department. He's an assistant secretary of state. He deals with the entire Europe and Eurasia region. Unfortunately, he has been the architect of many policies that we sharply disagree with, including opposition to the Armenian Genocide Resolution, including not holding Azerbaijan accountable for its aggression and threats of violence and renewed war against Nagorno-Karabakh. So this is a great opportunity to ask the tough questions, and this is where you can play a role. You can not only watch this hearing, and you can watch the hearing live on the internet on the day of the hearing, this Wednesday morning. First thing, go to www.anca.org, and you can get a link directly to the hearing site, and you can watch the members of Congress ask Dan Freed about all the issues that you care about. They will be essentially your voice on Capitol Hill, asking all the questions that you want answers to. And this is the second part of how you can play a role. First, you can do that by watching, but in the days leading up to this Wednesday, on Monday and Tuesday and early Wednesday of this week, get on the phone and call your members of Congress. Call members of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. You can find out who they are by, again, going to the ANCA website, www.anca.org, and on our website, on the front page, it'll say, call your representatives, and it'll give you the phone numbers, and it'll tell you exactly how to do it, and it'll tell you how to write back to the ANCA with the feedback you have. And the purpose of this phone call is to encourage your members to go to that hearing, to be in the room that day, and to ask the questions that you want answered. And if you do that, we'll see a good turnout, we'll see a lot of members of Congress there, and we'll force this administration to answer for its policies, its very deeply flawed policies on Armenian issues. So that's the first thing that's happening this week, and that's Wednesday, June 18th. You can encourage your members of Congress to ask the right questions by going to the ANCA website, and then you can watch on the day of the hearing by going to the ANCA website and clicking on the link to the live broadcast of that hearing. The second thing happening this week, and it's equally important, is the hearing on Thursday, June 19th, for the new U.S. ambassador to Armenia. I think many of you know the story, but several years ago, President Bush and Secretary of State Rice fired the U.S. ambassador to Armenia for nothing else but speaking the truth about the Armenian genocide. John Evans was fired, ended a 35-year career. He was a good man. He did not deserve to be fired. It was a grave injustice that he was terminated. The president then followed up the firing of John Evans by nominating somebody who then lied about the Armenian genocide and denied the Armenian genocide before the U.S. Senate. And thankfully, Senator Menendez of New Jersey, a good friend of ours, blocked that nomination. Now the president is coming forward with another nominee, Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch, who currently serves as the U.S. ambassador to Kyrgyzstan. We don't know what she's going to say, but we hope that she says the right things, and we hope that she's not a denier of the Armenian genocide. Again, you can watch this hearing on Thursday, and that's important, but that's just in the stands. You're just an observer to that process. You can be a participant in that process by going to the ANCA website, getting the numbers, the phone numbers of members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and calling them up and asking them to be in the room on Thursday, to ask the questions of Ambassador Yovanovitch, and to essentially be your voice in that room, in that hearing room, this Thursday. Because if your voice is heard, and if the questions you want answered are asked, then we'll see the kind of accountability that we deserve as American citizens. If we don't see that, they're going to give us double talk. They're going to try to use evasive language. They're going to try and avoid responsibility. And that's not fair. That's not good for us as Armenian Americans. It's not good for U.S. relations with Armenia. And it's certainly not good for America, to be represented by someone who's not a clear and moral voice for our values as Americans. So it's a very, very powerful week, a very influential week for Armenian Americans. I urge you, please visit www.anca.org, learn how to watch the hearings, but more importantly, call your member of Congress, call your U.S. Senator, and get out of the stands, get onto the field, and make a difference for the Armenian cause.